back to the Data Science with Python series. This particular is kind of an extra video where I would be making you familiar with the Jupyter Notebook, which we are going to use extensively. If you already know, you can skip it. As you would have seen in my previous videos, I set up my environment variable, I set up my uh, environments, right? Python 3.6 to get the very specific version of Python 3.6 where I would be working. And this is how we start our Jupyter Notebook from anywhere in the system. So this is how it opens up, and the first screen which we see after launching the Jupyter Notebook is the dashboard. This is called Jupyter Notebook dashboard, and it has very few options here. If you see, there is a file segment, running segment, and clusters. Running is whatever existing, so you will see about it. So we have upload. You can upload the existing notebook. So new tab uses the option of launching a notebook, which is this one. Let me just say test notebook 1, right? And if I come here, file is here, but it is in the green color, right? Now let me start another one, test notebook 2, and let's say I want to close it. Okay, let it save it first itself. Now I close it, and I closed it, but they are still in the green. And when I click on it, I get two more extra options here, right? So there is a duplicate. If you want to just duplicate the same file, existing file, view is just to view, edit is to edit, and then shut down. So if I click on shutdown, now they both are gone, right? So let's open it again, and I see my file, it's in green color. Now I come to running segment, I see what are the existing running notebooks in my system on this particular server, right? Notebook server. Text file. Okay, so you can create a new text file. It would be .txt hello, and it will just save it, right? And if I just leave, so I have my text file here, and there is no option of running once we close it. Now I have another very interesting thing, that is terminal, and if you see, it starts the Windows PowerShell. So now if I see Python, and interesting, it knows which Python to be on, 3.6. It's not taking the default 3.7 which is in my system. Now coming back inside of the notebook, now let's get familiar with this page. So it comes with few basic options like file, edit, view, insert, cell, kernel, widgets, else. We will go by it one at a time, but just let's get first familiar with the cells. So this particular part is called cell in the Jupyter Notebook, and I can write commands here, and to execute this particular cell I have to press shift enter, and as you would have seen, a new cell gets created immediately. What if I say random dot rand, I'm just giving an extra command just to show one feature, and now I do control enter. It executed that particular cell, but it does not create the new cell after it, right? So what you have to do is, if you want to create a new cell, you can enter shift enter. This is kind of a keyboard shortcut. Let's say you want to execute the same cell using here, right? So this key runs the particular cell, and it goes to the next cell, runs the cell, goes to the next cell, right? So the simple shortcut is shift plus enter, goes to the new cell, right? And also, as we are using a ID, if you use control and backslash, it comments that particular line, right? And if you want to stay in the cell, what you have to do is control plus enter. Now if I have to see, I can save my file, I can add an extra cell, right? And then I can cut that cell as well. I can create a copy of the selected cell, so I just do it, and then I just paste it. Simple. Then I can move around, I can move that cell up and down, right? If you see, now I'm moving up, now I'm moving down, and then just simply run as well, and then I can stop the running process. So if something is taking quite long, it will just stop it, this restarts the kernel. So kernel is kind of a single thread where the entire execution is happening. If you restart, the entire process running in the particular notebook would get stopped, right? And then it's like restart the kernel and then rerun, right? So it's as simple as that. So now let's see one more interesting feature here. So whatever code I have written, let's say I want to print it. The another extra feature which this IDE provides is the auto suggestion, or the suggestion for whatever function and module you are using and whatever things it supports. So how to get that suggestion is very simple. What you have to do is, let's say random, then press dot and then press tab key, right? And when you click the tab key, you get all the other features which is available on that particular module, right? So sample or anything on any module. The extra new feature which is being available in Jupyter Notebook is another kind of suggestion. So let's say random.randint, and you just close the parenthesis and get this suggestion. How to get this suggestion is very simple. Press shift and tab, right? Shift and tab. So once it just opens a short, and once you do twice it opens the long complete detail, right? So just one more time, right? So I can do this, and also I can do all this another way. So just type a question mark in front of it and it will give you all the doc string related to it. So whoever has written this module would have given this doc string the information about that function, and now you, by using the question mark, you can call it. Okay, so this is one of the feature. Now the interesting feature of the notebooks can be also on, and this all are have already been used through using this shortcut keys. Now let's learn about some shortcuts. Okay, so what are the different kind of shortcuts we have? Let's say you want to have many number of cells there. So the first way of doing it is clicking plus. The second way of doing is, if you want a cell, empty cell above a particular cell, you type on A. You see, I'm typing A. If you want any cell below the given cell, selected cell, you type B, right? A, B. The other one is, if you want to delete that particular cell, is type X. And let's say you don't, you want to undo the delete operation, what you have to do is type Z, right? I'm clicking Z here. Now there is one more feature, and that is called button H, right? So if you click on H button, it gives you all the list of keyboard shortcuts available in the Jupyter Notebook. This is really helpful. If you want to be efficient on using the Jupyter Notebook, I would suggest just go through it at least once and then you can have it. The another interesting feature which I like is F. So where I can find a particular word and I can replace it. See, it replaced it. So this is also one of the interesting features which I like. Most of the things are self-explanatory now, so I would suggest just take your time to understand the notebooks, understand its shortcut and what are the features available, so that you can be more productive while writing the code. The another interesting feature is creating titles, right? So let's say I want to say start of tutorial, right? And I want to make it a title. So the only way of doing is, this is a cell, it's an execution cell. It won't do like a heading like bold font or anything. So what you have to do is, if you click on M, it becomes markdown. And how would you know is here. If I select on code, it will again be back as a code. But if I select markdown, I can just, now it would behave as a text. Okay, now double click it, it again get activated to edit, and all those options are here. Now here what you can do is, if you have selected markdown and if I do single hash, it makes the one heading. If I do two hash and then similarly it keeps on. Okay, so up to 4, I mean 5 I would say. The another way or shortcut way of doing is simple, type start, I mean just again, and select outside. To do the same thing you can do, if you are inside, click on escape and it will select outside. If you are not inside, just select here and you would be outside of the cell, and then select 1. It will make it of first one, right? If you select 2, it will make it second heading, third, fourth, 5, right? So as you can see now. So these are kind of a easy way of learning and doing stuff in the markdown format for Jupyter Notebook. The another interesting thing which we have here is download. So if I download my file as HTML, you will see it got downloaded, and if I open it back, it's just a HTML file now, and you can share it and nobody needs to run it. It can act as a report, it can act as a dashboard, right? Where a static dashboard or a static report we are talking about. So it just created all this. None of the cell would be active here. It's just a plain vanilla HTML file, right? Created from it. The another download option which we get is Python file. So if I select on a Python file, now if you would have written your code in such a format that you want to directly execute the Python file, you can have directly download it and just directly execute, because you know what is expected, and all these cells are commented out. The hash is a comment in Python, right? So now this particular code can be executed directly in the Python terminal without using a node. This all feature of Jupyter Notebooks makes it really useful, handy, and a go-to IDE for data scientists very specifically. The reason it's very straightforward and it does what is expected, and I would say this is all for this particular topic. I would see you on the next topic of the Python series, and hope you are liking the video. If you like it, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get the notification of my next video as soon as I upload them. Thank you very much. Have a great day.